Still with us, Governor Grace Padaca of Isabela, former Bulacan Governor Josie de la Cruz, and Secretary Silvestre Bello, who ran as a senator under the Lakas Campi ticket. Governor Grace, your case, they knew from the onset that you were facing a very, very tough fight in Isabela. Did the Liberal Party offer you any kind of assistance, whatever it is, give you lawyers or give you more watchers? Yeah, or was that all your responsibility?
No, they are very supportive, Tina, but there's not much you can do about it. Like what Governor Josie mentioned about 15 resolutions issued issued on the few days before the counting, as if they wanted to rush things. No room for questions, no room for protests. And let us go back earlier. Let us focus on the money that was used by many candidates all over the country. I'll just talk about Isabela, where they were giving out money like they were flyers, where they were at the start of the campaign period. They started with 200, they started with 300, and they would give identification cards to people, and then after 2 or 3 weeks, they'd come back with the ID so that they can get the second installment. In Isabela, we are already used to the dynasty's practice of gapangan on the night before the elections, where they would go to house to deliver the money. But this time, they did it a good 2 weeks before. And in broad daylight. There are barangays located in the highways, and you would see people lining up. And I would get messages that it was the barangay kapitan himself handing over the money, or the mayor in his house, or sometimes it is with Boji D and Rodito Albano themselves. And there were just too much money. And during a radio debate, I asked my opponent Boji D, where are all this money coming from? Because I don't think that it can come from just a candidate. It should be big money. I said, does it come from GMA or from Weteng? Mm-hmm. Because it cannot come from just a candidate alone. It's just too big. So it has to come from a bigger source than their
the voting
money.
population in Isabela is what? How many hundreds?
700, 800,000.
700,000.
Yes.
So if they were giving at the start 200 and then closer to election day 500, have you done a rough estimate of how much money was moving around in your area?
I was talking with some of our fellow candidates, and they were talking in the vicinity of 1 billion pesos. Because in the capital town of Ilagan, they said that one barangay had a budget of 800,000 pesos. And there were 91 barangays in Ilagan town alone. We have 1,000.
So you think that there was 1 billion circulating in the Isabela economy?
That's what some of my, the more veteran candidates were.
That's a little too much.
But
too much.
But
the indicator, Dow, somebody was telling me in the province, where there was also so much money going around. It was the sari-sari store. They ran out of change for 500 peso bills because they were buying their soft drinks and their little chichirya using 500 peso bills on the eve of the elections. That's how much money this candidate, and obviously this candidate won, you know. But that experience of yours, you are very bitter about it. You are so bitter about it. I've read the story that they put out on you in the Inquirer. And where is the bitterness coming from? We were unable to engage the Ds in trying to come up with a good campaign and a good platform for the Isabeleños. Hindi umabot ng ganon yung pagkakampanya nyo.
The bitterness or the sadness, the deep sadness, Tina, comes from the fact that after raising the standards of our people, after showing not only to Isabela but to the whole Philippines that somebody like me can win elections, and that Isabelinos, citizens like Isabelinos can choose someone like me over traditional politicians, is all down the drain now. And the saddest thing is I could not have done anything about it because
your helplessness.
Helpless, yes. Aside from the massive vote buying, intimidation, and black propaganda was the second phase of this automated cheating. I think I survived the first phase because if I did not, why did I get 271,000 votes, and I know that many or majority of this also received their money, also received 1,000 or 1,500 from my opponents. I am sure, I'm very sure of that. And they listened to the radio every single day where I was demonized, practically demonized. That's why, again, in all the elections that I went through, I am, again, most proud of my performance now, even if I was not declared winner, because I know that the people who voted for me withstood bigger and stronger pressures than all the past elections, but still I got 49.46% of the votes. It's just that in the second phase of the cheating or of the unfair election practices, then I was helpless against automation.
We'll be back. The final stretch of Talkback in a moment. Stay with us, please.